Hello, welcome to my talk. Today, my name is Joseph Mbele. I introduce myself all the time, and I guess I will do it again. My name is Joseph Mbele. I am a Tanzanian. I teach here at St. Olaf College in Northfield, Minnesota, and I've been here since 1991. Before that, I taught at the University of Dar es Salaam in the literature department from 1976. Welcome to my talk. I have a YouTube channel. I invite you to follow me. I talk about all kinds of topics, globalization, culture, education, writing, books, issues concerning African Americans, issues concerning the relationship between Africans and Americans, those types of things. So today, I would like to return to a topic I've been addressing again and again. The topic is the movement of African Americans to Africa. I'm talking about the migration of African Americans to African countries. I've mentioned again and again that in the last few decades, especially, there have been a steady stream of African Americans getting out of the USA and going to settle in African countries such as Ghana, Senegal, Gambia, Rwanda, Tanzania, South Africa, and so on. I've given a few talks. You can listen to them on my YouTube channel. Today, I want to talk about myths surrounding this whole topic. Myths about African Americans moving to Africa. In the course of talking about this issue, we probably lead ourselves astray in some ways. We create certain myths, and these myths are not generally challenged. I don't think they are even recognized as such. So I would like to highlight a few of these myths, and I think I'll be talking about this topic again in the future. But for now, let me say a few things. One of the myths is that one of the unspoken assumptions is that African Americans desire to get out of the USA because of the racism, that they want to reconnect with their motherland, they want to go to Africa. If you're an African in Africa and you see African Americans, you may have this notion that they are coming home, they want to come home. And countries like Ghana have stated explicitly that they open their borders and they grant citizenship to any black person in the diaspora who wants to go and live in Ghana. They are welcome. So there is that kind of general understanding Now, the reality is different. There are some African Americans who desire to go to Africa. Some who dream about returning to the motherland or to the continent. You know, that's where their roots are, they say. And it is true. They came from there. But not all of them, you know, want to go back there. No, not at all. There are many who are happy to be American. Many who are proud to be American. And they will tell you categorically, we are not African. They don't even want to be called African American. Yeah, you'll come across some who say categorically they don't even want, you know, that term African attached to their name. They say, we know nothing about Africa, we have never been there, we don't even know where we came from exactly, and we have been raised in the USA, we are American. So that's myth number one, that generally, or you know, overwhelmingly, African Americans want to go to Africa. There are many who don't want to go. Some don't even want to associate themselves, you know, with Africans, even here in the USA. And some of them, out of sheer ignorance, resent Africans on the grounds that Africans sold them into slavery. They make these kinds of generalizations without knowing the history of slavery and the slave trade, without knowing that there were only a few Africans who engaged in slave trade. They don't know that a lot of the Africans suffered, you know, in that time period. They suffered as victims. There were many who were enslaved in Africa. Many whose lives were disrupted by the slave raiders, and so on and so on. So there are many African Americans who are not interested in, are not even dreaming about going to Africa. But there are some who are very, very keen to go to Africa. So we need to get this cleared up. Yes, many African Americans want to get out of the USA, but not all of them want to go to Africa. Oh yeah, there are many who go to other parts of the world. They go to Europe, for example. Yes. So, yeah, they go to places like Portugal and Spain and Germany, you name it. They go to France. And they have been going to Europe for decades. Yes, for more than 100 years, African Americans have gone to settle in Europe. Maybe not in large numbers, but they've been going there many decades ago. You have people like Paul Robeson. You have people like Josephine Baker, you know, Josephine Baker going to France. You have people like James Baldwin, you know, more than 50 years ago, more than 60 years ago. Today, there are many who go to these countries in Europe. So the idea that African Americans want to get out of the USA escaping from a racism, which is a very valid idea, does not apply to all of them. I mean, if the issue is racism, why would people want to go to Europe? I think everybody knows there's a lot of racism in Europe. So the picture has to be drawn afresh. The discussions need to be changed or enriched in specific ways. There are questions, about the very things that we take for granted. Those myths need to be dismantled. Now, there also the assumptions, for example, that the African Americans, the Black Americans who go to Africa want to reconnect with their roots. They want to maybe integrate in the African society and become part of Africa in that sense. Well, this is one of those myths that needs to be questioned. There are many who have actually gone to Africa intending to join the Africans in their struggles for freedom and development. You have people like W.B. Du Bois, a great Pan-Africanist who went and settled in Ghana. He was part of the African and African-American struggle in the olden days before African independence. He went to live in Ghana. You have people like Pete O'Neill, Black Panther, Pete and Charlotte O'Neill, Black Panthers who went and settled in Tanzania, my country. They are still there. You can go online and Google the phrase "a panther in Africa." It's a documentary, very enlightening, and you can check out the story of Pete O'Neill. I'll have a link below this video so you can follow this story. You have people like David Robinson. Is the son of the great baseball legend Jackie Robinson. His son David moved out of the USA, came and settled in my country, Tanzania, and he really came to be part of our society. He married a Tanzanian woman, has children. He lives in some remote place in southwestern Tanzania. He grows coffee and he just lives together with the people there. He's part of our society. So you do have African Americans, like that, who have gone to Africa to be part of the African society and fight alongside the Africans, for development and those types of things. However, there are also many African Americans who go to Africa for very individualistic reasons. They just want to get out of the USA. They see opportunities in Africa. They see opportunities to live better, to be free from racism, and to flourish as individuals. There are many who seek a life of comfort. They want to, live like kings and queens. There's this myth about kings and queens. that we were once, kings and queens in Africa before we were taken out and enslaved. Now, and they move from one African country to another, looking for the best possible place to settle. And they really have no intention of joining with the Africans to pursue, the goals of the African people who are still struggling to achieve, what they hoped they would achieve with independence. And so you have these kinds of African Americans as well. And we need to address this, we need to acknowledge this, and wonder perhaps whether, they are of any real benefit to Africa. I know this will be controversial. I know this won't please a lot of people. But the truth is the truth. You don't see these types of people moving to countries where there are challenges. They come to a country, they look at the infrastructure and the quality of life, they call it, and then they move out, go someplace else. They go to Rwanda, for example, as a great place. Yes, it's a great place, but it's the Rwandans who struggled to make it the way it is. And I guess what Africa needs is people who would come to join in the struggle to make things better in Africa. I guess I would say this, and again, as I say, it might not please some people. Again, we're focusing on Africa, but some African Americans go to other places in the world. They go to Central America, they go to Mexico, they go to some Caribbean, countries. They would go anywhere. And so we should get out of our mind the idea that somehow Africa is this very, very special place to all the African Americans. No. It's a special place, it's an attractive place to only some African Americans. So, yeah, those are some of the things we need to think about and keep in mind. As I've said at the beginning, I think I will return to this topic in the future. I wanted to say these few things and invite your comments. There is a comment section below this video. Feel free to state your views. Yeah, let's learn from one another. I'm not claiming to be an authority. I'm just expressing the thoughts I have, and my thoughts have been evolving. I started off being one of these people imbued with certain ideas, and I think I was rather simplistic. I'm getting a bit more and more aware of the complexities of these issues. So, welcome to the comments section if you feel you have anything to say. I will stop here for today. Have a nice day.